Hello and welcome or welcome back. This is going to be a whatever comes out reading. We do have a few cards that I've pulled already, and I'm going to put these back and we're going to shuffle on camera. Underneath the code cards, root staying on the desk, we've got delight, so a happy situation. Under the shamanic deck, we have fortune and luck, fortune's wheel with luck and right timing. So a fortunate shift in events. It wasn't time before, but now there's some kind of lucky break happening. And this came out with these three cards, skywriting the fates, something ancient here with the runes coming forward. And we've got the blade talking about speaking up, having some type of decisive moment or something that helps one break through some type of confusion or disillusionment, and might have something to do with uh, shifting dramatically from something that you were engaging in into a whole different timeline, so to speak. We've got this with the medicine wheel. So a big healing change, shifting away, leaving something behind that doesn't serve because it's time. And this is going to put you in alignment with your destiny, with your manifestation, and with the outcome that's intended for you. So let's take a look here. We'll put all these cards back and see what we get. And one more shuffle here. Hope you guys are doing well. Still feels like we need one more here. Let's see. Splitting. The perfect storm. Courage to step into life. Ooh, and the beloved. Radical acceptance. That's an interesting combination here. It's like heart fire here, an activation in the heart space, creating this radical breakthrough energy, a clearing away of anything that you've known before. It can be quite a dramatic shift or new awareness coming in, but it's the perfect time to step into this. This situation has been somehow perfected in this moment, and it comes on the heels of you accepting some type of new awareness about yourself, perhaps that new truth that's emerging because of this situation. So here we go. We'll start here. So we've got on the back the perfect storm card coming out. And this is peacock feathers on this crow raven here, and I'm seeing this peacock feather there. We've got luminous warrior. So many of you, especially because of the name of my channel, even in the energy that is generated here, bringing forward a specific collective to hear the words that are coming through this channel. It's like many of you are light workers, light warriors, people that have been committed to spiritual ventures and to increasing the life in your own personal capacity, doing something towards justice and creation of clarity and truth. And so if any of you ascribe to the light rays, I'm feeling white ray, violet ray, and blue ray specifically. Speech, clarity of belief and divinity, and transmutation and shifting from one form to the next. I just keep feeling like we need to keep shuffling these cards. It must be there's different ones buried in the deck. This one wants to pop out. Dances on one foot. balancing act. I think that you've had your hands full recently, and now I think that there's some type of a return of joy, and the word mirth came through earlier. We have lost compass, getting back to integrity underneath. It's an interesting card. A few more from the back. Dust Devil, moving out of stagnation. There's this dust cloud generated from perhaps distractions. It could be just things such as getting kind of caught up in just the stresses in the daily human dimension. Yes, coming out with Earth. There's something stepping forward here, some type of manifestation I'm feeling, because this Earth here is like something from the ethers stepping forward. And I did in this Whispers of the Ocean deck, nope, it's not on the bottom now. I got one of the cards, I can't remember what it was called, but it said something about some windfall happening. Let's see, what do we have here as far as an oracle card? Overarching theme. We'll take these ones. Underneath we have Empower Yourself 29. Tune into your personal power. You're more than able to handle the situation facing you. Allow yourself to be the strong, beautiful person that you're capable of being. And again, I'm seeing this as a swordfish here. So the warrior and then the sword under the deck. People are watching this happen for you. I'm seeing the eyeball that happens on that blade card. So persistent drive and rediscover your zeal. Number 11 says, see what you desire and move towards that goal. It's time to zero in on your purpose. Use your intuition and instincts to guide you for the optimal outcome. So you're going to need to be consistent in possibly setting up some boundaries, and it doesn't always have to be with other people, but it can be as far as like carving out some special time and space, whether it's for rest and rejuvenation, for meditation practice, for time with friends, colleagues, loved ones, or it could be time for some type of family or partnership connectivity. But I think that it's also making time for your own manifestos, your own personal manifestations and vision and creative drive, and something to put that energy into. It's like we can get so drained by running and doing all the things that we should do, or the things that others expect or want us to do. They want it from us. And so there's some type of expense perhaps in us delivering these expectations to other people. But I'm feeling that it's important to empower yourself, to empower and protect your own future by putting your sacred energy, your passions into something that is personally re-inspiring and reinvigorating for yourself. So rediscovering your zeal may take some time to kind of indicate what that actually is, and to be consistent in re-identifying what your need is in that moment, whether it is to keep on pushing or whether it's time to scale back in some way or ask for help or connection in some way. Rediscover your zeal reads, pay attention to the passion that you're feeling for discovery, learning, exploration, spirituality, travel, your work, or your relationship. Passion and desire go together, especially as inspiration. It's reminding me that in our first daily Dharma reading today, which is uploading now, there were two mentions of the word adventure and kind of getting back into the swing of things. And it was kind of talking about how our energy gets leaked, our magic and mojo goes into things. And now we're talking about these expectations and things from the external world again. And I didn't even notice it at first. But it's time to find our way back to the center about what has been, what it is that we need, and where it is that our responsibilities and our passions lie, and to pursue that, because there's something important that we're getting to the bottom of. I'm really missing my Beyond Lemuria deck. It's in my house and I forgot to bring it out, and I didn't want to go get it. We'll have that back for us tomorrow. Any code cards from the Sacred Geometry Activations Oracle? Talking about what it might take to get back into this creative zone or space. There we go. All right, yeah, Tantric Journey. Talk about co-creative energy. This is the Divine Mother-Father energy. So we can talk about Tantric Journey as far as like within the self. That's when we are kind of, as Esther Hicks, Abraham Hicks says, when we're tapped in, tuned in, and turned on, then that's that sweet spot where we are very explosively thinking and envisioning and have all these ideas coming forward. It's like true and utter chaos to some people when I'm in that space and I'm brainstorming. And some people get really overwhelmed. They're like, they can't move that fast. And so this can be happening with you. But when you're in the zone, so to speak, of your manifesto, or with anything that's inspiring you, it's like all systems go. And so when you're in that space, noticing the mood of the moment, it's like, yeah, I've got to put this creative energy down onto paper, whether that's writing it out, drawing it out, making some type of quick note about something, vision, astral, or an idea or a question that you want to research or look into later, so to speak. We've got sacral chakra here. Miracle communication. Yeah, so we were also getting some pre-messages about someone coming to connect with you in the coming phase. This is a little bit of a segue from the previous reading, somebody who is maybe taking someone else for granted. It looks like you're taking time for yourself to rest, rejuvenate, and to conceive of something. Exactly. So with Tantric Journey and conception, it's like we need to take some time to self to really get centered on what is the motivating force that's trying to speak forward. Synergy, how can we work with the flow of the moment and with our energy as it moves through? So it looks like something is coming through your conscious awareness. And with Cosmic Flower, it has something to do with perhaps exactly divine timing from earlier and this getting back to integrity. There's a new awareness coming through. The Cosmic Flower is my card of evolutionary change and coming out with consciousness. It's like the divine timing of the moment is saying that the collective is moving through a mass consciousness event, and I believe it's consciousness event after consciousness event, and people are becoming overstimulated en masse about what it is that's being expected or demanded or shown to them. And so many individuals are perhaps shutting down. And so it looks like there's an idea of how to stay empowered and to stay inspired and to move with that shifting dynamic. Sacral chakra coming out again here. So again, figuring out what it is that we truly desire here is important to flow with our desires is going to stimulate the creative power to manifest success and abundance in our lives. So this may be, oh, dynamic. Yeah, that's my storms of life, the chaos that comes through and needs to be woven into coherent harmonic patterns that other individuals can digest more easily and integrate into their energetics, soul level. um, there's another word I'm looking for, to integrate into their own soul blueprints, to continue to not shut down, but to grow and expand and integrate these changes. And so we're the forerunners here, helping individuals to be able to ground and anchor their energies in this time here. It seems that we are also kind of not in the old ways of moral policing, but there's some type of way that we're connecting individuals back to their own integrity, such as connecting with their passion, not telling them, oh, well, if you do this, you're right, and if you do that, you're wrong, because there's a time and a place for everything. Like breaking things might seem destructful and wasteful, but have you ever seen individuals who will do something like break a bunch of glass and then tumble that glass, or um, somehow smooth it, or put it into some stepping stones for pictures, or onto some art? You can put broken pieces of glass and make such shining things. And in earth shelter type homes, they've shown the different colored glass being utilized in the structure itself. So I'm seeing all of these things coming through, the ability to see this, possibly in some people's cases, garbage, or like, let's even call it something nicer, like some thrift store treasures or some vintage antiques, or even things like cast off tools, gardening tools. I've seen people weld them together into some type of artistry. People that use things like an old bicycle or exercise bike and a laundry machine, and they start to power that without electricity just by pedaling the bike with manpower. I'm seeing some type of inventive, inspiring type, innovative thought processes coming through for you. And it may be that it's easy for you to apply this to anybody who comes to you. And this could be some type of niche that you could develop, something that you are able to read like nobody else can. It's like, yeah, something coming through about, I have a hard time at our church that I attend giving the messages just outright, because I judge myself on the outside. But then they literally grabbed this deck. I'll grab it just for kicks and giggles in the moment. People were getting these cards, but I could see how that could pertain, because they're like, oh, what's this religious factors do? I'm not really into that. I don't have da da da. And I'm like, yeah, but here you are sitting in this spiritualist church, guiding and leading different services. You have a lot to say. You've got a lot of spirit. Religious factors are a factor in that person's love life, because without that spiritual connection, her love of God and love of self and her path was superseding the love that could be imagined. So it would take a very sacred path walking individual to turn her head. So let's take you a couple of cards in the moment here and see what energies are having some type of bearing upon your love life. There we go. So those ones want to come out, those ones. Okay. So there's possibility of some type of reconciliation coming through very soon. We do still have Mercury is stationing, should be returning to direct motion at the time of this video, but still plenty of other celestial bodies in apparent retrograde motion, which can bring people back around. But this doesn't have to be an ex-lover, especially not one that you don't want to see come back around. This can be some type of family issue, people coming back together in that regard. Or it can be some type of like an individual that you used to know and you are back in the same hometown for the holidays, so to speak. But uh, if there are some romantic feelings, which is the first card out here, your feelings are real and worth exploring. Whatever feelings those may be, fear, anxiety, happiness, excitement. Um, but with love yourself first here while you're getting to know each other, I think that for many of us, particularly if today's Daily Dharma has anything for you where it was very much about people being taken for granted and kind of moving through that final portal into that true level of that boss mode self-love level where it's like nobody needs to validate me. I'm going to keep being me despite what anybody else might expect or demand. So loving yourself first in regards to that might come down to things such as like you set up the precedent for a new engagement right off the bat. I would suggest within perhaps the first 24 hours, and then it continues to build. And the longer that things go on, the more foundational and ingrained those connective patterns become between individuals. So, loving yourself first again might look like you've got plans to go out with your friends, and this person told you that they wanted to hang out this weekend, but hasn't gotten a hold of you all week long. And even if you've maybe tried to say, hey, do you know what you're planning? And they're like, no, or no response type thing. And then it gets to be Friday night, and you're supposed to be hanging out with your friends, and this person texts and is like, let's go out tonight in about 2 hours, and you're kind of left with, do you drop everything for somebody who didn't find it necessary to set up a plan and and respect your time in advance? That's something that you could handle in a multitude of ways, but for some, it might be sort of better to say something such as, I'd really love to hang out with you, but I wasn't sure that anything was going on because you didn't set that up in advance. And so therefore, I've made other plans. So if you'd like to hang out, let me know what else works for you, but I got to go now. Take care. Bye-bye. That's not telling them that you're mad at them or whatever. Of course, you might feel any type of way, but it's not ditching people for the one who didn't actually regard you. You're going to say, you're, I hate to use this type of language, but it's almost like training a puppy. You don't get to chew my favorite pair of shoes. And, anyway. Okay, so the next ones we have engagement. Your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment. So many of the things that we've already talked about, it might be important for you to have those shared values, to have some of those conversations right up front instead of, pushing those to the wayside. Or, like if you hate spicy food and they're like, hey, let's go to this restaurant, and then they want to order for you the spiciest dish, it's like, what are you going to do? You can't eat it, right? So I think that this higher level of commitment is like, that higher level of self-love that's like, I'm happy that this is something that you want to do for me, but here are the limits. And if you order me something that's spicy, if you don't set something up in advance, then the result of that will be that it'll be a waste of your money. It'll be, something that you miss an opportunity. Flirt. Extend your lighthearted energy to others. I would also say people get busy. Maybe the person was on using the examples, not that this is what's going on for you, but it's an easy example. It's not necessary or helpful to perhaps get angry without having all the details. It can feel that we've been overlooked or left to wait on someone. And maybe that's what it is for some situations like that. But in that moment, let's not overlook the opportunity to let them do it better next time. And so maybe we can be like, well, if I still want to get together, make some kind of flirtatious comment like, you're lucky you're so cute, because some people wouldn't get a redo, but, maybe you should check back with me next week, and maybe we can make something happen next weekend, type of thing. Um, Obviously, I'm not putting a lot of game into it or spin into it, but the same type of a thing can work with any type of opportunity. It's like, that sounds like a fantastic opportunity, but at the same regard, I don't know that in the situation it's important or empowering to drop everything to take an opportunity, because opportunities do come at providential is, I don't know why these words pop out, um, in a fortuitous moment. It's like, maybe some things are things that we're like, oh, well, I've got to do this, like if you're a breaking news reporter, you got to get in there and get the story when it's hot, right? But so take it as you will. Then we have new love. A new person has stirred your romantic feelings. I think with all of this information, it's like some of us, our old patterns are kind of resurfacing, and we're being able to be more lighthearted about it because we're not feeling wounded any longer. We're not needing that external validation in the same way. And so it's not as difficult for us to make a new choice here, because you know that you deserve love. You are lovable. You're highly sought after. You probably have several individuals that you could choose from to hang out with: friends, family, colleagues, cohorts, whatever, community events that you could go with a friend or solo. And there's probably multiple individuals that would love to have an opportunity to have your time on a different, more personal level as well. So let's get us some fun, loving oracle messages here. Exactly. Pucker up, Buttercup. There's something really fun happening for you. You have more options than you realize. What did I say? So create space for this new leveled up love within yourself and with others. It's like sometimes we can get into a little bit of hand wringing. It's like, especially like think back to like middle school type love depictions where it's like, well, I have to kind of do whatever Johnny or Josie, whatever, say, because if I don't do what they say, then they won't love me anymore, type of a thing. It's like when we take the time to love ourselves first, it's like, well, if that's how simple it is to lose an individual, then let them be lost. Let them go get lost so you can find yourself. When a thing hurts your eyes, stop looking at it. When it hurts your ears, stop listening to it. And when it hurts your heart, stop justifying it. I love you so much, the universe. So if you're in a situation where you are left to wait, left on red, ignored, pushed aside, then it's time for you to start leveling up in that regard and engaging with individuals on every level of your life in a different way. I've talked to multiple people too who will talk about being young and getting into a career opportunity and then feeling obligated to put in extra hours, perhaps at home, behind the scenes, unpaid hours for hourly employees that are going above and beyond. And even though bosses might be like on the surface, oh, well, that's not necessary, or even the smart ones, oh, that's not legal, please don't do that. But do they actually take the time to go to bat for you, to provide you with the necessary time, resources, and delegated, appropriated resources again in order to make you more able to help them. Because if you're doing things on your own time for them, then they owe you a little something else. However, we find out in energetics that nobody owes us anything. If we're going to keep over extending, then it comes back in drained responses. So it's time for us to recognize we've got a big life out there ready for us to live it, adventures for calling for us to come and have a better life. Things are not always as they appear on the outside. You know, if somebody's needing that reinforcement there, do something for yourself. Everyone's just doing their best, and so they may be overlooking your needs in this situation. So don't be the one who overlooks your own needs in that situation any further or any longer. So I hope that helps. I think that what we're being told here is that ultimately there is new love on the horizon. Yeah, I'm opening right up to passion and romance here. Yeah, something coming in the next phase, miracle, prosperity, perception. It's the awareness of what you have to offer, and also um, what you're capable of doing. So empowering yourself to get out there and really understand what type of mojo you really do bring to the table, understanding your attractive nature, because it's the perfect storm right now, perhaps even when you aren't feeling your best, to go out there and be seen having a great time. Because this luminous warrior also tells me that this is some type of a lover potential that has their eyes on you. Um, Pay no mind to the gender. It's just my card that means that. Ram, perseverance. Yeah, persistent drive, remember? You have many gifts. No problem can withstand the power of your mind. With patience, you can reach your mountaintop. Never give up, and good luck will always follow. And yes, you are unique and very, very sought after. You're magical, and you inspire others with your magic. You are the sovereign of the seen and unseen worlds. The magic of love surrounds you. Beauty transforms you. Listen to the spirits of light, abandon the darkness, go beyond the ordinary, and become the legendary. Infinite possibilities. Exactly. You've got more options than you realize. And so the world, the universe is showing us that it's like an all you can eat buffet, and we're not going to go up and take seconds of something that we are allergic to. We're going to go up and choose appropriately, you know. And you gotta, if you think about your guts, you gotta have enough of things that you don't overdo it as well at that buffet of life. So all things in good measure. But yeah, it's definitely time for you to witness what it is that you bring to the table, and to be open and ready to receive that with all that you are. Take good care of yourselves. Until next time, folks, loving you so much. Bye.